Hey guys, today I have a short workshop from McCain at Twiceborn Pottery up in Fort Worth, Texas. He's sharing with us about glazing and mark making on your pots. Hope you enjoy.
All right guys, I'm McCain. I'm in my Fort Worth studio. Today we're going to talk about glazing pottery. When you first start out making pottery, you are just so excited to get into clay, get your hands dirty, and then you get these pieces out of the kiln that are ready to be glazed. And it's so intimidating. You have a blank canvas, you don't know what to do, and there's just so many options out there. Most people start with the basic dip, and when you dip pottery you end up with a solid color, or you might get crazy and dip it in 2 glazes at once. Today I'm going to skip over that portion. I'm going to talk about how to move into glazing with imagery, the thought process behind that, how you can take something that's important to you and put it into your artwork. So the first thing you need to do is identify what kind of marks, what kind of imagery, could be words that are important to you. So hopefully you have a sketchbook. Go back and look in your sketchbook. What kind of motifs show up over and over? So for me, that was this tiny little sprout that I've been doing since I was in college, in my 20s. I'm going to show this camera here up close. So this tiny sprout just shows up in all of my sketchbooks for the last 20 years, even back into high school, and it just keeps appearing. It's from an old poetic prophecy, and it's just a motif, and you see motifs throughout history. If you see historical pottery, there's going to be themes and imagery that just keep showing up, and so that's what I'm doing. Yours might be something totally different. It might be an animal, it might be just a certain line design. But whatever it is, figure out what's yours. Don't try to copy somebody else's. Figure out what's yours and then create it over and over and over. It's really important to get the muscle memory of just drawing and drawing and drawing. Do not try to go straight onto your bisqueware, because it's a lot more difficult on a piece of bisqueware than it is on paper. And these are precious to you probably. If you're just starting out, you don't want to waste them. So there are so many ways you could put imagery on pottery. Stencils, fired on decals, brushwork, slip trailing, underglazed pencils that you can draw with. I don't have time to show you everything, but I'm going to show you how I moved from my sketchbook imagery to creating that imagery on my pottery that represents something that's important to me. We're going to be using some brushes, nice thick brush. That's going to create this blue swipe, this kind of painterly swipe of glaze. We're going to be using a slip trailer, which is what I like to create these lines, this vine motif with. And also these tiny dots that you're going to see on my pots, like this. Okay, so we're going to start this glaze pattern by applying the black glaze. It's inside, it's on the outside, and I have it in this bucket. I use a little more of this, so I use it in a larger container. And we're going to just pour it inside. And then as we empty the glaze, we're going to spin, making a nice coat. And then when I dip this, I want to dip at an angle and be kind of fluid and even let it drip around as it comes down. I don't want a crisp edge. If you want a crisp edge, then you're going to dip and hold it still. Pull it out, leave it upside down so that your drips don't run down the pot when you turn it over. So you have to decide what you want for your pot. But for my pot, I want some movement. So I'm going to dip, hold a second, and then I'm going to drop it. And I'm going to let those run. Okay. So I've got a little angle, I've got a little drip. set it aside. And we're going to do a few so we have some pots to work on. That one just has a tiny little drip. Now this one I have a, if you can see it, I have a nice little edge right there. I'm going to try to leave that clean. This one a little cleaner. I'm not going to let the runs, and then I'm going to apply another glaze to that edge right there. So I'm not going to turn it over. I'm going to leave it this direction. I'm going to let it set up. Okay. Okay, so we're done with the black glaze.
Hey guys, I hope you liked that. Lucas is a well of wisdom and he's a good friend. I want you to go check out his website at twicebornpottery.com, or you can just scan this QR code and it'll take you right there. You just open the camera app on your phone and it'll take you right there. Thanks for watching.